Now then guys, how you doing? So it's that time again for a rebuild, and today we're going with Everton, another banter club in the Premier League. There's quite a few of them at the minute. Spurs, Newcastle, although Newcastle have turned a corner, they still get some grief from the fans, especially with the money that's being pumped into the club. But yeah, Everton, I see a lot being said about them, about their team is awful, and in my opinion, it might be an unpopular opinion, let's just put it that way, and you're probably going to disagree with this. I think Everton have got a decent squad. I think they've got a better squad than what they're achieving at the minute. I think Benitez needed to go, and as a Newcastle fan, like I've said in previous rebuilds, Benitez is a decent manager, but he was just not the right fit for Everton. Benitez is very take it slow, counter-attack. Not really great for Everton that really want to push forward, and they've got some very good attacking talent as well. Now for this episode, I'm going to try and win the Champions League. 5 seasons in, obviously we've got to get into the Champions League first of all. But why not? I reckon there's a real opportunity here for us to win the league with Everton. And I may be getting a little bit ahead of myself, as I'd imagine they've got loads of money to spend in this transfer window, and we can really improve the squad. Now I say improve the squad, we can add to the squad, because like I've just said, the squad is in a decent shape. So before we move forward then guys, if you haven't, please like and subscribe, it would mean a lot. And if you continue to follow me throughout the rest of my rebuilds, thank you very much for your support, it means a lot. But let's get in to sorting out this mess that is Everton. Right then guys, so day one at the club, and we've got a lot to do. When we look at the history of Everton, they haven't really done too much. They just mince about mid-table. We just need to get them into Europe, then we can start bringing in some really top quality players. They have got some decent players anyway, Everton. Obviously, there's always that promise of we're going to invest massively and we're going to be able to push on to Europe and do bigger and better things. They're a bit like Spurs, but Spurs get into Europe and whatnot, and Everton just can't do it. So looking at the last time then that they won your Premier League, or what was the first division, that was in 1987. They won the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup in 1985. The FA Cup was 1995, the Sky Bet Championship 1931, and the Community Shield in 1995. So yeah, it's fair to say they're on a bit of a barren spell, and we've got to change that over 5 seasons. So if you are new to watching these rebuilds, what I do is I have 5 seasons to rebuild the club. All I do basically is the transfers and the tactics. My assistant manager takes over the actual play in the games. We just simulate from season to season with the intention of just winning as much as we possibly can. So yes, let's have a look at the finances then, as this is going to dictate... I was going to say, this is going to dictate how we do in the transfer window, but we've got £2 million. £2 million, what's that about? What have they spent their money on? Nothing. They've only spent £2 million, 1.7 million on Damari Gray, and we haven't brought any money in. Oh, here's me thinking we're going to have an absolute war chest for the first season. Go out, get some proper quality players in, and then just go for it in season 1. And that's not going to happen. So looking at these finances then, I've got £2 million in the transfer budget. However, the big thing for us here is we get 100% of that transfer revenue. My budget for next season though can be up to £26 million. Wage budget wise, I've got a 2.1 million wage budget, and we're currently spending 100k under that. Overall balance is £10 million. What about the debt and loans? So I've got a £470 million net debt. Oh dear, no wonder I've only got £2 million to play with. And transfer debt is 47 million as well. All these gift loans here, obviously from the chairman. Wow. Wow. So looking at the club vision then, what is the expectation? To build a new stadium, obviously that's the 5-year plan and ongoing, and to work within the wage budget. The end of the current season, the top half finish, and then to reach the Europa League proper the season after. Obviously the 5th round finishes in the FA Cup, and to reach the 4th round the AFL Cup as a bare minimum. And they just want us to continue to work to being the best of the rest in the league. Club culture-wise though, they want us to play possession football, sign players under the age of 22 for the future. That's where I may come undone, because I've got 5 years. I need some established players, so I usually fail that across these rebuilds. We'll see how we get on. Develop players using the club's youth system. Play attacking football, we'll definitely do that. Do not sign players over the age of 30. We'll see about that one. And play entertaining football. So looking at the development centre then, as they want me to promote youth, I've got 2 players that are good enough apparently to be first team candidates. That's Anthony Gordon, 20-year-old left midfielder. He's okay, yes, he's only 20, he can develop nicely. I'll probably send him out on loan in fairness. Let's make him available for loan. And Ellis Sims as well, another player that can play up top. We'll do the same with him. So they're both now available for loan, and that is it. And he's injured for between 7 weeks and 3 months, so he probably won't be going anywhere in this transfer window. Squad dynamics wise, and team cohesion is average, club atmosphere is very good, and Margio support is average. Have I got players that oppose me at the minute? No, I've only got 6 players as supporters. Coleman, Rondon, Begovic, Townsend, Lonergan and Gray are the players that are on my side. Luca Digna is still there. He hasn't gone. Obviously, we haven't got the updated transfers yet, and I will make the most of that. Obviously, he's comfortably the best player at left back at the club. So what about the squad then? Obviously we have got some big names there, but looking at the average age straight away, we've got a lot of players over the age of 30. A lot of those players may disappear in this transfer window. Rondon there, Delph, Tosin as well. Alan's going to stay with us. Obviously we've got Asmir Begovic. How is Andy Lonergan now? Wasn't he at Liverpool? How has he made his way over to Everton? He's been everywhere, hasn't he? Let's be honest. Now 37-year-old. So looking at the wages then, Digne is the highest paid player at the club on 125k a week. Decore on 120, just below him. And looking at the transfer value, Richarlison is valued up to £78 million. He's 24-year-old though. He's not going anywhere. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is going to be a linchpin within this team. You know, if he's firing all cylinders, then I can see us getting into Europe, no problem. And his injury obviously isn't in place here. He's on holiday though after being with England in the summer. He's wanted by Manchester City and by Newcastle. Obviously Newcastle will be trying to buy everybody now. That's worth looking at for us. Whoever Newcastle are interested in, we need to have a look at as well. Because obviously they're going to pay over the odds, but they're trying to get the best quality player in. So if Newcastle are interested, then we should have a look as well. Looking at the squad depth then, at the moment I'm set up with a 4-3-3, so Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are my best striking options up front. Richarlison on the left, Richarlison on the right, Calvert-Lewin. So basically, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison can play in all those three positions up top. In the midfield then it's Alan, Decore and Tom Davies. And then in that defensive anchor role, Alan and Ben Godfrey again. Out on the left-hand side, though, I've got Digne and then nothing really below him with Delph and Branthwaite. And then my centre-back options, while I think they're good, stars-wise doesn't say it, Michael Keane for me is decent enough. Those attributes, defensive attributes anyway, 16 heading, 15 marking, tackling 16, strength 15 and jumping lead 16. Not bad at all, I'd keep him. Yes, he's got a bit of a liability about him, but he's decent enough. Holgate, Godfrey, Mina and Digne can play there as well, he's not going to. And out on the right hand side, the best player in that position apparently is Holgate and Godfrey. Where is Seamus Coleman? He's down in the bottom now. Seamus Coleman is still good enough for me. Then the goalkeeping options. Now the jury is out on Jordan Pickford for me. Now he's a completely different animal playing for England, but I think he's a liability. He's really angry as well. He's angry all the time. I'm sure everybody else has noticed that. But he's just constantly screaming. And yes, if you're getting beat every single game and conceding loads of goals, then you're not going to be happy. But he just seems to be on it all the time. So Jordan Pickford is England #1. We are an English team, so we're probably going to stick with him. But that may be an option in the future, especially if he's worth some money. How much did they end up paying for him? £25 million. If he's valued up to £60 million, it may be a goalkeeper let go, because there are other good English goalkeepers out there. Nick Pope, for instance. Aaron Ramsdale is an absolute boss man on this. So if I can get Aaron Ramsdale in a couple of seasons, that'll probably be the way we go. And then finally looking at this tactic, so like I've just said, we're going to play a 4-3-3. At this moment in time, my best 11 is Pickford in goal, Digne, Holgate, Mina and Kenny. That's not true. Keane will come in for Holgate with Alan, Decore and Gomez in the middle, Richarlison and Townsend out wide and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. That is what I would consider to be my best 11 at the minute. So what we're going to do then, guys, we're going to move forward and I'm going to try to spend all of this £2 million in its entirety. Wish me luck. Right guys, so in true rebuild style, I've not been able to bring a player into the club over the summer transfer window. This club is so much in the mud that nobody wants to sign for us. I've even gone for like transfer listed players from the likes of Leicester City, even from abroad, and they're going to like Villarreal and Real Sociedad, Torino. They just do not want to come to Everton, so I'm in a little bit of trouble here as far as obviously that first season rebuild goes. When we look at the finances, I've now got just under £11 million in the bank. My wage budget, I've tried to reduce it a little bit, so we're now just over the £2 million mark. Obviously debt and loans, we're in trouble there. Fortunately for us, a lot of it is just being paid back to the chairman, and an overall balance, we're now in a minus of £2.8 million. I'm not overly worried about that at the moment, as TV money and stuff should sort us out, as well as season tickets and gate receipts should more or less get us out of trouble there. So leaving the club then, the first player out is Jared Branthwaite. Now he has gone off to Swansea on loan. Nothing to worry about there. It's just to continue his development. So yeah, he'll be playing in the Championship next season. And Anthony Gordon has also gone out on loan. So the 20-year-old who we looked at from the development centre, the under-21s, he has gone out on loan to West Brom. Again, just to aid his development. And the one player that has left the club on a permanent basis then is Cenk Tosun. He has gone off to FC Copenhagen and he has gone off for £4 million after we spent £20 million on him in 2017. Now, he was out on loan last season at Besiktas where he scored 3 goals in 3 games. He's gone to Copenhagen for £4 million and he's made one appearance already. But yeah, he was never going to feature in the long term, so we've got him off the books. At 30-year-old as well, his contract expired at the end of the season, so it was time to cash in on him. Potentially coming in then is Aiden Januzaj. Now, he's going to join us potentially, like I say. We are waiting on his work permit, as you can see there. The decision is going to be made on the 16th of the 8th, so after our first game against Arsenal. Now, he's 26-year-old. You may know about this guy when he was at Manchester United, where he played some games for them, but he's more or less been ever present at Real Sociedad since. He played 27 times last season, 4 goals in the league. And he's crossing and dribbling decent, that pace and acceleration good as well. And a 26-year-old, if we pay 11.5 million for him, now I haven't really got that kind of money, so I'm going to ask for a little bit of money off the board. And I'm taking a gamble, obviously, with our financial situation, but he's definitely better than Andros Townsend out on that right-hand side. So squad dynamics and team cohesion is average, club atmosphere is very good, and my geo support is good as well. Has my influence changed over the squad? No, so I've still got 6 players as supporters and 16 players that have no real opinion of us. What about the social groups though? I have still got players, considering I haven't brought any new players into the squad, I've still got players that don't fit into the core group, and that's something that we need to work on this season. Competitions wise then, we've got the Premier League, the FA Cup and the EFL Cup to play for. We start off in the second round of that one against Hartlepool. Now, looking at the Premier League, what is the expectation for this season? So season preview wise, we're expected a 16th place finish. 600 to 1 to win the league, and I'm aiming for a top 6 finish as well. You know, ideally if we can get into that 7th place and get Europa Conference League, it'd be a decent place to start, but I do want the Europa League proper, and we've got no players in that Major Dream 11. That doesn't surprise us. So new managers coming in then, Steven Gerrard, Patrick Vieira, and Valverde is coming at Manchester United. Ralf Rangnick has not been given the job there in this save anyway, so yes, Valverde taking charge of Manchester United. So looking at the way the team's going to line up then, guys, we are still going to go with that 4-3-3 with Pickford in goal, Digne, Keane, Mina and Coleman at the back, with Allen in the ball winner midfielder role, Decore and Gomez in the midfield with Richarlison and Iwobi out wide, and Calvert-Lewin up front. Now, I am resting my hopes on Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison at the time being. If Januzaj comes in, that'd be fantastic out on that right-hand side. But yeah, that is the formation and my first 11 there. And then looking at the schedule, then we've had a very good pre-season, but that running to start the season, Arsenal, Manchester United, Liverpool, Brentford and Chelsea. Brentford, the only team in there that I fancy my chances against early doors. You know, Arsenal are a bit Jekyll and Hyde, so there may be an opportunity there. But Manchester United, Liverpool and Chelsea, with my first 5 games, is harsh. So there we go then, guys. So what we're going to do now, we're obviously not getting too much of a rebuild going on. We're going to move forward to the end of Season 1, where this team that I've got, I did say at the start of the episode that I thought this team was good enough anyway. So I guess the proof will be in the pudding. Right, so Season 1's down, and I said this team was going to do bits for us, and it's got a 5th place finish. Yes, we have finished 7 points behind Arsenal in 4th place, Manchester United on 75 points as well. But we have just pipped Chelsea to that 5th place, Chelsea finishing in 6th. There's been some absolute shocking performances of Leicester, by the look of it, have been relegated as well. Let's have a look at the league table in all its glory then. So we played 38 games, won 20, drew 8, lost 10, 77 goal scores, not bad at all. 50 conceded though, when you look at those teams around us, isn't great. Plus 27 goal difference and 68 points on the board. Our last 5 games, we won 2, lost 1, drew 2. And when we look at that past positions then, so we were all over the place at the start of the season, but then we settled off. We're actually in 4th place for 4 games, and then we dropped down and jumped back up again with a 4-1 victory over Watford. And we've sat there ever since. Be interesting to see though, this Leicester situation. So yeah, they've proper fallen off. Now Leicester, they have got a quality team. They've got players that we could look at taking here. And I wonder if they're like having a fire sale and going to start giving players away. So James Maddison, he's got a bidding for £23 million from Arsenal, a player that we could potentially want. Ziyunku, is he transfer listed? He is wanted. £30 million he's listed at. Castagne's a player that I would like, £19 million. Yuri Tillemans is only valued up to £22 million as well, so we could raid Leicester here, and I think that's the way to go. But when we look at the competitions then, that 5th place finish in the league gives us a Europa League place. In the FA Cup, we were knocked out by Chelsea in the quarter-final, but we've won the Carabao Cup. There we go, our first bit of silverware in our first season. A 3-1 victory over Chelsea. Calvert-Lewin with a goal on 11, Damari Gray with a goal on 30, Richarlison on 90 plus 4, after N'Golo Kante got him a consolation goal on 90 plus 1. We had 14 shots, 9 on target, 48% possession. We were always in the game and we get a 3-1 victory. Like I say, our first bit of silverware in our first season, that is the way to go. And we start as we mean to go on. So looking at the finances then, we've only got £9 million in the overall balance, and we've had a bit of a shocker. We were down as far as minus 64 million at one point, but we have got £36 million in the transfer budget, but we are only getting 50% of transfer revenue. I'm going to ask for more there. increased percentage of revenue. We'll see what happens between the summer transfer windows. Wage budget wise, I've got 2.1 million to spend. I'm spending almost 100k under that. Like I said, the overall balance £9 million, and net debt, it's poor that when you look at it. Transfer debt £22 million. But on the other side of this, Moise Kean will be leaving us. He's going off to Juventus. It was pre-arranged before I took over, and he's leaving for 24 million. The problem with that is this guy is now valued up to 88 million, and we are giving him away. This guy's a quality player, 22-year-old, and we've let him go to Juve for next to nothing when he's valued at 88 million. He had a decent season for them as well, scoring 21 goals in 34 appearances at Juve. So he's been tearing it up, and like I've just said, giving him away for 24 million. So what about squad dynamics then? Team cohesion's good, club atmosphere is average, and managerial support is excellent. I've got players that are asking to leave. You know, I'm going to sort out all that in the transfer window. It's going to be a very busy one as well, so I've got the opportunity to bring players in. I've got one player that has no real opinion of us, that's Mason Holgate, but I've got 22 players as supporters, so they're all on my side after this season's performance. So what about player stats wise? Dominic Calvert-Lewin got 31 goals this season. How does that compare to everybody else in the league? He was second highest scorer. He was joint top goal scorer with 24, with Lacazette from Arsenal. Lukaku got 22, Salah with 19, Harry Kane only got 19 as well. What about assists then? Are we up there? Januzaj, Digne and Decore both up there. So third, fourth and fifth place. 12 assists for Januzaj. What a player he's been. Let's have a look at him in all his glory. Obviously, we got that work permit over the line. He played 25 games, scored 8 goals, 12 assists in the league. Not a bad season for him at all. And like I say, 11.75 million, that's what we paid. And he's now valued at up to 31 million pounds. So there's an opportunity. If he wanted to, we could play a little bit of money ball there. So the highest average rating was Calvert-Lewin, as expected, with a 7.5. Most assists was Digne with 14 across all competitions. Best pass completion was Yerry Mina with 97%. Most player of the match awards was Calvert-Lewin with 7. It's fair to say that he's had a good season. Most yellow cards, Godfrey got 11. And he also got 2 red cards, which was the highest. And then when we look at the team stats, we scored 77 goals, which is the third best. We conceded 50, which is the seventh best, so it's not the end of the world. Yellow cards wise, 60, which is the fifth best. 2 red cards, which is the sixth best. And our average attendance is 39,000. So looking at the club info, when is that stadium being built? There's nothing being said about the stadium yet. It's completely been lost in the 5-year plan as well. Can I make a board request for a new stadium? Build new stadium. Again, we'll talk about that at the end of the transfer window and see what happens. I think financially, obviously, build a new stadium probably doesn't make sense as we are in the mud at the moment with that. But that is it then. The first season is done and we've got a bit of silverware. The AFL Cup, you know, I'll take whatever silverware we can get. And a 5th place finish. Breaking into the top 6 was massive in the first place. But that gap between 5th and 4th, now that's the one that we need to work on closing. But we've got that £36 million to play with and an additional 24 million potentially if I can get the majority of that through the door from the Moise Kean transfer. So yes, a very busy transfer window coming up. So the transfer window is now done for me, and what a transfer window it has been. As when we look at these finances, I've got 101k left. Wage budget wise, we're 9k under it. We're now spending over £2 million on the wages. I've completely wrecked the overall balance, minus 44 million. Debt and loan, out of control. Financially, I am relying on us having a fantastic season, and the players I've brought in, hopefully, with the formation that we've got, we should be able to do that. So let's have a look at the transfers. So players leaving first of all, and Solomon Rondon has gone off to Zenit St. Petersburg for 4.5 million. He played 14 times his last season, scored 3 goals. You know, he's found his level there. He's got 1 appearance, 1 goal, and I'd expect more the same from him. He's a Rafa Benitez favourite, didn't fit what I wanted at the club, and at 32-year-old, like I say, 4.5 million, not bad for us at all. Andros Townsend has gone off to Sturm Graz, and again, we got him on free transfer. He played 6 times his last season, 1 goal, and he's gone for £3 million. Andre Gomez has gone off to Alaves in Spain. Now, he's gone off to La Liga. He's played 1 time there already. He only played 5 times his last season. Was never going to feature. We actually spent £22.5 million on him, and we sold him for 4.5 million. And then Asmir Begovic has gone off to Nice. That's it. He went on a free transfer at the end of his contract. We got him for free, and he left on a free. So I did say that I was going to raid Leicester, and the first player that I've brought in is Ricardo Pereira. Now can play at left and right back, predominantly a right back. He's got a continental reputation, resolute personality, and he's currently valued up to £21 million. He's currently playing to his full potential, which is 3 stars. He's 29-year-old, he's got 9 caps. For Portugal, 11.75 million. Obviously, Leicester getting relegated is ridiculous in itself, but they went down. He played 25 times in the Premier League last season, and we got him at a cut price. And somebody else we got at a good price, Youri Tielemans. What is he doing playing for us at Everton? He's absolutely incredible. What a player he is, 25-year-old, capped 50 times for Belgium already. He's going to play in the centre of midfield and he's going to absolutely boss it. We're going to play him as probably the deep line playmaker. I'm not quite sure on his finished position yet. His current ability is 3-star, potential ability 4-star, and I got him for 18.25 million up front. With add-ons could be 22.5 million. He played 31 times last season for Leicester, 2 goals, 4 assists. He didn't have the greatest rating at a 6.67, but when your team gets relegated, you don't usually pull in good ratings. Then I got a couple of free transfers in, so Jeremy Boga joined us from Sassuolo. So we got him on a free transfer. He played 37 times in Serie A last season, 4 goals, 2 assists. Can play behind the strikers, obviously. We're going to play him out on that left-hand side. Crossing 11, dribbling 18, pace and acceleration high, 17 and 16, 17 technique. Current ability 3-star, potential ability 3.5-star. Fully capped international as well with 3 caps for Ivory Coast. And then I've brought in a player, never heard this guy before, Gabri Viega. 20-year-old Spaniard, capped at under 20 level, and he's a very good player. Can play in central midfield. Current ability 2-star, potential ability 4.5-star. Probably going to go out on loan this season. He's currently valued up to £27 million. And I got him on a free transfer from Celta Vigo, where he played 8 times last season. Again, not a player I've heard of, but those stats are incredible. Dribbling 16, first touch 16. Passing 13 could be better, but that technique and vision 16 apiece. Decision making, this guy's going to be a superstar. And technically you can see there it's a step above. And the last player through the door then was the 20-year-old German wonder kid, Karim Adeyemi. Now he's been capped 2 times by Germany already and he's currently valued up to £85 million. Acceleration and pace both 17, finishing 15, and then we got him for £12 million from Salzburg. Now there are add-ons in that, he could rise to 16.75, but even then, that is a bargain. This guy's just become available. He was transfer listed. We got him in. Can play as the striker, but can also play out on that right-hand side. And that's where we may see him, as Calvert-Lewin is still the main man up top. So with all those transfers made, then this is going to be my starting 11 for this season. We've got Pickford in goal, Digne, Keane, Mina and Pereira at the back, with Allen in the holding role, Decore and Tielemans in the middle, Richarlison and Yanis out wide, and then Calvert-Lewin up front. But we are absolutely stacked on the bench as well. Like, we've got so many options. Obviously, we're now fighting in Europe as well. We've got the Europa League to play for, but we are in a really good position. Financially, we're wrecked. We really are now relying on a good run in Europe, the league and the cup across all competitions, unless we're going to be in a financial crisis over the next couple of seasons. So I'm relying on my assistant manager's abilities here. Squad dynamics wise, then I've got John Joe Kenny who wants to leave. That is it. That's the only problem I've got, which isn't a bad place to be. Team cohesion is very good. Club atmosphere is excellent. And Maggio support is good. When we look at top influencers then, Coleman, Pickford and Davis. And my 3 team leaders. Coleman supporters, but I've only got 11 players as supporters. 13 players have no real opinion of us, which isn't ideal. Let's have a look at the squad and the squad depth. Obviously stacked in most areas now. A little bit light on that left-hand side still, but Digne's still the best man out there. Pickford in goal, you know, I've stuck with him for the time being. This may be his last season, but he's 28-year-old now, you know. He's about to hit his prime, but I still don't rate him. I really don't. Last season, he conceded 50 times in 38 games, but we did get into Europe, so maybe give this guy one more chance, see how he gets on this season. Competitions wise then, we're obviously fighting the Premier League, the Europa League, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Got to be winning some more silverware this season after lifting the EFL Cup last season. Then looking at the season preview, so we're expected an 8th place finish. Ourselves and Newcastle both 50-1. Liverpool, Man City and Man United making up the top 3. Promoted teams last season, West Brom, Sheffield United and Bournemouth in there as well. But we've got no players in the Media Dream 11 for a minute. Then I just seen the blue and thought we had somebody there, but we haven't. It's not meant to be, but I'm not worried, you know. We've still got a quality team, and I reckon over the course of this save we'll work a couple of players into there. Be interesting to see what Newcastle spent this summer, as they've got all the money. So looking at the transfer history, they spent £113 million. Rick Karsdorp, £45 million. What are you doing spending that kind of money? Declan Rice has gone there though, £61 million. That would have been a player that I would have liked to have brought in. And they managed to recoup £3.1 million. And that was on Jamal Lewis, who's gone to Southampton. He's not a bad player, Jamal Lewis, 24-year-old. But yeah, big money being spent by Newcastle there. And lastly then, looking at the schedule, so we've had a fantastic pre-season, but we haven't really been challenged if I'm honest. So we start off with games against Leeds, Tottenham, West Brom, Manchester United and Norwich in the league. Opportunity there for us to pick up some points early. Tottenham have had an absolute shocker. In the previous season, where did they end up? So they ended up in 11th place. They had a really poor start to the season as well. So there's a real opportunity for us. So what we're going to do then, guys, we're going to move forward to the end of season 2, where my financial gamble needs to pay off. Right, so Season 2 is down and I'm immediately drawn to that 4th place finish. As a financial gamble paid off, as we got 73 points on the board, we ended up finishing 7 points clear of Manchester United and Chelsea. We finished 23 points behind Liverpool. Liverpool, our Merseyside rivals, are still dominating the league. When we look at the league table in all its glory, then like I say, Champions League football coming to Goodison Park next season. 38 games played, 21 wins. That's the difference there, the amount of wins. 10 draws, 7 defeats though, not bad across the course of the season. It's those goals scored there where you can see Liverpool scored 102 goals, Arsenal 101. Liverpool only conceded 18 goals as well. Wowza, they are dominating. Is Jurgen Klopp still in charge there? Jurgen Klopp he needs to do one. Who's in charge at Arsenal now? Mikel Arteta still up there and he's doing good work. Obviously Arsenal getting a 2nd place finish. But we scored 63, conceded 38, not bad going again. A goal difference of plus 25. We won 3 of our last 5 games. What about our past positions and overall performance that way then? So we're inside the top 7 for most of the season. We managed to get ourselves up into 4th place with a 1-0 victory over West Ham. Then we beat Newcastle 4-1, then a 1-0 victory over Burnley, and on the final game of the season we drew 0-0 with Brentford, but we still end up finishing in 4th place. I see that Spurs are down in the 11th. They've had an absolute shocker. Who's in charge at Spurs? Roberto Mancini is the manager there now, so there you go. Who's at Manchester City? Pep Guardiola is still there and loving life. Competitions wise, then we've won the Europa League. We've won the Europa League, obviously against Sevilla. They love the Europa League. We got a 1-0 victory in the final. We had 21 shots, 10 on target. Absolutely dominating there. Richarlison with the goal on 36. They're 16 and 5. Our first season in Europe and we've won the Europa League. Cracking stuff. Played at the Puskas Arena in Budapest. We were knocked out in the FA Cup in the 5th round by West Ham. And we'll runner-up in the League Cup as well. We were beaten 3-0 by Manchester City in the final. Got absolutely smashed at Wembley. They had 12 shots, 5 on target and scored 3 goals. Jordan Pickford on a 6.1 rating had a poor game, you know. Bit of stage fright there. But the big thing is the finances. And as it stands, the club is £70 million in the red. Not ideal. This season we've lost £36 million. Transfer budget wise, I've got £57 million to spend this season. I don't know how much more I need to do as far as the team goes. Yes, we need to take it up to that next level now and start trying to break into the top 2. But £57 million, not bad at all. But we're only getting 50% of transfer revenue. So any transfers that we make need to be tactical. Wage budget wise then, 2.2 million, and we're currently spending 2.1 million. Scouting budget, obviously all good. Debts and loans then, it's not getting any better, is it? Let's be honest, still extremely poor. But it'd be interesting to see what our main expenditure is over the course of the season. So we spent £82 million on player wages. Definitely got to do something there then. Bringing these players in and giving them big money is not the way to go. Transfer expenditure, £48 million. And £19 million on bonuses. So we need to look at the bonus structure as well. But £82 million. That is insane. Actually, we spent £93 million this season. Transfer expenditures, £86 million. So yeah, I did take the risk with the transfers. I really did. I said that. Bonuses though, £36 million in bonuses for a 4th place finish. So what about squad dynamics then on the back of that? Team cohesion excellent, club atmosphere very good, and Maggio support excellent. I've got players that aren't too happy, not worried about that. We'll have a clear out in the summer obviously, as I've tried to balance the books then. When we look at the team leaders and whatnot, Coleman, Pickford and Calvert-Lewin, my team leaders. I've got 19 players and supporters, 2 players that have no real opinion of us. That's Holgate and Boga, and no players opposers. I am interested though to see how we got on against Liverpool, so let's have a look as far as the opposition goes. So against our Merseyside rivals, we lost both games against them 2-0. Didn't score a goal. Not ideal. But then against Liverpool, are so dominant. Would you take a 4th place finish Champions League football over getting smashed home and away by Liverpool? If you're an Everton fan, let me know. Like for me, as a Newcastle fan, I would much prefer to get battered by Sunderland and get into the Champions League places. Even if we only lost 2 games all season and that was home and away to Sunderland. You know, let them have bragging rights, but we've got European football at the end of it. For me, that's the way I'd go, you know. Plenty of people disagree, you know, there's nothing bigger than a local derby. However, for me, you know, losing home and away to Liverpool isn't the end of the world. Player stats wise then, Calvert-Lewin scored 32 goals this season. How did that compare then to the rest of the players in the league? So Jamie Vardy, who went to Arsenal, scored 31 goals. Mo Salah in second with 25. Aubameyang with 22. Lukaku with 21. And Calvert-Lewin with 19. So we got 19 league goals. 32 in all competitions though. 9 in the Europa League. 2 in the FA Cup. And 2 in the Carabao Cup. Calvert-Lewin also had the highest average rating at 7.44. Most assists was Digne with 14. Best pass completion was Yerry Mina with 98%. Most player of the match awards was Calvert-Lewin with 11. Most yellow cards was Digne with 17. No red cards this season. And what about team stats then? So looking at team stats, we scored 63 goals, which is the 4th best. Conceded 38 goals, which is the 4th best. So there you go. A clear 4th place finish there. 63 yellow cards was the 7th best, no red cards, and average attendance was 38,000, which was the 10th best again. So there we go then, guys. Decent season for us. I couldn't ask for any more than that. A 4th place finish, yes, maybe winning that EFL Cup would have been nice, but not meant to be. European glory though, regardless if we hadn't got that 4th place finish, we would have got a Champions League place anyway. So here we go then, guys, into Season 3. A busy transfer window ahead, where I've got a decision to make now. Do I spend more money, or do I try and pull some of that debt in? Right then, guys, so I've made a decision to spend some money while actively obviously trying to reduce the wages, but I have gone out and I have spent big again. Looking at these finances straight away, I have still got £9 million in the transfer budget, still getting 50% of the transfer revenue. Wage budget wise, we now get just over £2 million, and I'm currently spending just over £2 million. Overall balance is minus 25 million, and that debt and loans is obviously still a shambles. That's never going to disappear though, as some of this debt is still getting paid to 2040 anyway, £40 million there. You know, I've got this debt here, £100 million that we haven't even started on, so naturally that net debt is not going to disappear, and I've now just got to accept that I'm going to be sat on it until I leave. Transfers wise, Moise Kean has finally left. He has gone off to Juve. I actually thought he left last season, but he's just gone for £24 million. Look at his record since he went to Juve. 34 games, 21 goals, then 33 and 20 goals. This guy's prolific is incredible as well, if I'm honest. He's got to be valued up to £100 million. What a player. But he has finally gone for £24 million to Juve. The next player out the door then was Alex Iwobi. He has gone off to Benfica and managed to get £27 million from him. Now, he did actually play 23 times for us last season. He's a decent player for us, but when you're looking at improving a squad, getting that kind of money for him, you've got to accept it. I then let Michael Keane go to Norwich, so he's now 30-year-old, current ability 3-star. Yes, he's got international experience, but £21 million offer from Norwich after he only played 13 times last season. So I accepted the offer, and away he went. Gabri Viega, the player that I brought in last season who went out on loan, is out on loan again at West Ham. Now, he did go out on loan last season to Utrecht, where he played 28 times, 7 goals, 5 assists, and he's out on loan in the Championship with West Ham this season. Damari Gray left us and he has gone off to Stoke in the Championship. He played 15 times his last season, but Stoke coming in with a £9 million offer, and we paid £1.7 million for him. So to get that back, and he's not very good at all, especially at the level we are trying to take the team, so £9 million, that's an absolute steal. And then the last player out then was John Joe Kenny, so he just has not developed. And Sheffield United come in with a £2.7 million offer, and he has also gone to the Championship. So coming in then, the first player through the door was a 29-year-old Frenchman, Samuel Umtiti. Now, he's a direct replacement for Keane, who was left. Keane was getting paid 100k per week, and we're paying 43k there. So as you can see, obviously reduced the wage bill. Now, his current ability 3-star, potential ability 3-star. He's a squad depth option. Obviously, he can play at left back and at centre back. And we got him in on a free transfer, but he only played 6 times for Barca last season. Not overly worried about that. Like I say, he only may play 10-15 games for this season, and 5 of them maybe starts, who knows, but a very good depth option for me. Currently valued at £46 million. I maybe have to shift him on next season. You know, there might be a little bit of money ball going on there after picking him up on a free. I then brought in a 28-year-old Brazilian, Lucas Veracimo. So he's also a centre-back with heading 15, marking 16, tackling 15 and strength 16. Very good mentally. Current ability 3.5-star, and he's playing to his full potential. Brought him in for £25 million from Benfica. Now, I have spent big on a player that is 28-year-old, currently valued up to £44 million. Played plenty of games though, and is an upgrade on Michael Keane in the centre of my defence. And then finally, I went absolutely massive and spent £57 million on James Ward-Prowse. Now, he's more or less ever-present season after season for Southampton, and we know what Ward-Prowse is about. Technically, he's gifted anything dead ball as well. He's now 28-year-old, a tireless midfielder with a continental reputation. He can play in that defensive role as well as, obviously, the central midfielder, which is where he'll be. Current ability 4-star, playing to his full potential naturally, 14 casts for England, 2 goals, natural fitness 20, stamina 20. He can run all day, and this guy, with Tielemans in the centre of our midfield, we are going to be unstoppable. So looking at those players coming in then and them fitting into my squad, Pickford is going to obviously be in goal with Digne, Lucas Verasimo, Godfrey and Pereira at the back. Alan's still going to play in that anchor role. Alan is cracking on now and I've got a big decision to make replacing him next season. I've then got Ward-Prowse and Tielemans in the midfield with Richarlison and Adeyemi out wide and Calvert-Lewin up front. What a team that is. Godfrey has really developed nicely as well. Currently valued up to £73 million, free caps for England. But squad-wise, an improvement on last season. Last season, top 4 finish and winning the Europa League. We go again this season in the Champions League this time. As our reputation continues to build, my only concern, obviously, is those finances. Really worrying, but Champions League football will help us reduce that cost. So squad dynamics then, team cohesion is very good, club atmosphere is excellent, and margin of support is very good. Januzaj wants to start more games, he wants to leave. We'll sort that out throughout the season. I'm sure he'll get plenty of game time, especially with thinning out the squad. I've got 11 players as supporters, 9 players that have no real opinion. Calvert-Lewin and Digne, both supporters. Club captain now, James Ward-Prowse taking the armband, deserves it in fairness. Leadership 18, and he's the biggest signing since I've taken over, so he's a worthy candidate for captain. Competitions wise this season, we've got the Premier League, the Champions League, the UEFA Super Cup, which we're going to see shortly, the Emirates FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Now, what's the expectation in the Premier League this season after we've strengthened? Season preview wise, we're still expecting an 8th place finish, 33-1. Not even expected to break into the top 4 again this season, but we still haven't got any players in the Major Dream 11. I can see Erling Haaland there at Manchester City as he just joined. £117 million. That is a different. Erling Haaland is an absolute menace on this game. He scored 24 goals in 27 appearances last season. I'd expect to see more of the same for Manchester City. And finally then, just before we move on for the start of the season, we might as well just simulate ahead one day to see how we do against Real Madrid in the Super Cup. Hopefully we get a win. It'd be nice to start off with a bit of silverware, especially with someone like the pedigree of Real Madrid. And we actually end up winning. I can see that 2-1 against Real Madrid. So there we go. We've caused an upset. Militao with a goal in 94 minutes. Made it look closer than what it was. But Adeyemi with 2 goals out on that right-hand side. And we start off with a bit of silverware. Now that gives me hope of how we're going to perform in the Champions League. Like I say, with a 2-1 victory against Real Madrid. Right, here we go then, guys. Season 3 is over. Or is it? As you can see, this is the most ridiculous rebuild I've ever had. We're somehow in a Champions League final against Bayern Munich. I genuinely don't know what's going on here. I don't know how we've ended up in this position. We won the Europa League last season. When we have a look at the final, there you go, against Bayern. Who did we have in the last round? Let's have a look. So the semi-final wise, we ended up winning 4-1 against Atalanta. Obviously Bayern 2-1 against PSG, so it could have been PSG in the final. Just have a look at the quarterfinals then. So we ended up winning 3-2 on aggregate against Arsenal. Liverpool going out to PSG there, you can see as well. So massive. So what we're going to do then is we are literally going to skip forward for this one day where we could potentially be, as ridiculous as it is, we could potentially be European champions. So can you imagine this absolute scenes 3 seasons in if we end up winning the Champions League here? It's a mental situation that we find ourselves in. We're looking at it. We win the Champions League. We've won the Champions League 4-2 in extra time. There you go, guys. 3 seasons in, and we had a man sent off in 90 minutes. This is absolutely incredible. We were 2-0 down and ended up winning 4-2. Adeyemi with a hat-trick in the final. Calvert-Lewin on 82 minutes. There you go then, guys. 3 seasons in. We've done the impossible, really. We've won the Champions League. Now it's all about how we've performed in the league. Let's have a look at everything else. So, in the league, we ended up finishing in 4th place, 73 points on the board, 19 points behind Liverpool, who have ran away with it again. Having a look at the league table in all its glory then, 38 games played, 23 wins, 4 draws, 11 losses, 74 goals scored, 40 conceded, plus 34 goal difference, and 73 points on the board. What about our past positions then? We were basically sat in 2nd and 3rd for the majority of the season. 3rd place from match day 22 to match day 34. We got beat 2-1 by Liverpool. There we go again. Liverpool smashing us. And then we ended up in 4th place for the remainder of the season. So we have got Champions League. It doesn't matter. We've won the Champions League. I was going to say we've got Champions League again. We have won the Champions League. I just need to have a look again. Absolutely ridiculous. 4-2 extra time victory over Bayern Munich. We won the Super Cup. Obviously against Real Madrid, that was at the start of the season. We were knocked out in the 5th round by Manchester United in the FA Cup, and we were knocked out in the 3rd round of the EFL Cup by Bournemouth. That is absolutely mental. 3 seasons in to have won that. Finances wise then, we've got £191 million in the transfer budget. What is going on here? Overall balance, £318 million. What about, we've got no debt and loan. I think we may have been bought out. We may have been taken over while I've been on holiday. Let's have a look. So let's have a look at all members. There we go. Khalid Al-Amari, a Qatari, and our director is Russian. All money all over the place. What is going on? This has been the most bizarre rebuild ever. Now, if you haven't liked and subbed, get it done, because we're probably never going to see one like this again. 3 seasons in, Europa League winners, Champions League winners, and now a takeover from the Middle East. There you go. So, yeah, we're in an unbelievable position. I've got £191 million to spend in this transfer budget. I'm only getting 35% of revenue coming back in now. So what we're going to do is I am going to ask for more than that. Let's see what we can do with that. Wage budget, £2.2 million. I'm currently 120k under that. We have got some stuff to do here. What about squad dynamics though? Team cohesion is excellent. Club atmosphere is good. Magic support is very good. I've got 2 players that realistically want to leave. Januzaj could potentially be going. Anyone interested? There is somebody interested. Tottenham Hotspur is currently valued up to £17.5 million. Now we'll try and get that for him, as I think we spent £11 million bringing him in. Having a look at my team leaders and the players and supporters, and I've got 14 players and supporters, 6 players that have no real opinion of us. I've got 2 players in my other players, Branthwaite and Virginia. Not overly worried about that. We're in a good place though. What about these social groups? Everybody now is in the core social group as well. So looking at the player stats then, Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored 36 goals this season. How does that compare? Player overview then. Erling Haaland, obviously. Erling Haaland gets 25 goals. Mo Salah with 25. Calvert-Lewin with 24. And Boadu with 24 as well. Lukaku there with 21. Calvert-Lewin then up into 3rd place for goals scored. Highest average rating then was Calvert-Lewin with a 7.56. Most assists was Ward-Prowse. 24 assists for Ward-Prowse this season. 13 in the league. He's at 9 in the Champions League. Look at the state of him. What a player. Verissimo had the best pass completion at 98%. Most player of the match awards was Calvert-Lewin with 10. Most yellow cards was Digne with 14. And most red cards was Pereira with 2. I still cannot get over this. So team stats wise then, we scored 74 goals, which is the 3rd best. 40 goals conceded, which is the 5th best. 60 yellow cards, which is the 6th best. 2 red cards, which is the 8th worst. And we had the 9th best average attendance. Do you think it would also be worth asking, go to the Club Vision, see if we can get a new stadium? We'll wait and see what happens with that. We'll discuss that when we come back. So that is it then, guys. What an end to the season. And now we've got a £191 million war chest to really take this squad to the next level. Right then, so Season 4 is upon us. The transfer window's now gone, and I have gone big in this one. I've probably overspent for players. I've gone for more world-class players, now elite players, as we try to push on. 4 players have left, 4 players have joined, so let's have a look at it. So the first player to leave then was Anthony Gordon. Hasn't really featured for us since I took over. He was out on loan at West Brom, Fulham, and then at Club Brugge last season, where he played 26 times and scored 2 goals. A 7.03 rating. However, you know, they paid 1.4 million to take him out on loan, and they've paid 12.25 million to take him when he only scored 2 goals last season. That's a bit of a bizarre one to me. Then Jeremy Boga left. He has gone off to Benfica now. We got him on a free transfer a couple of seasons ago. Played plenty of games for us. Done a decent enough job last season. Got a 6.72. 1 goal, 3 assists in 33 appearances. And a £22 million offer coming from Benfica, so I've let him go. Samuel Ntiti, another player that joined us on a free transfer. He joined us last season. Actually played 21 times for us. And Fiorentina coming with a £10 million offer. Now I could have got more, but I wasn't holding out as long as I wanted. You know, I needed to get this guy's wages off the books. Even though he wasn't getting paid a mega amount, I did bring in a better quality central defender, so it was time to move him on. And then Alan has left us, now 33-year-old. He's gone back to Brazil, to Palmeiras. 9.5 million, which I'm quite surprised at. Played 31 times this last season at the base of our midfield. But yeah, time to move him on. So the first player through the door then was another attacking option, Benjamin Sesko. Now 21-year-old Slovenian with 32 caps and 15 goals. He's got a worldwide reputation and his media description is an elite striker at 21. Current abilities 3.5 star, potential abilities 5 star. Acceleration 17, just those physicals in general are quality. With finishing 14, composure 14, off the ball 18 as well. and I bought him for 14.25 million, which was his release clause. Now, he was at Red Bull Salzburg last season where he played 12 times, 7 goals, 3 assists. And that is an absolute bargain, getting him for just under £15 million. So, you know, when you look at his transfer value, he's now up to £109 million. You can see that we got a real good deal. I then brought in the 23-year-old Swiss international with 14 caps and 1 goal, Dan Ndoye. Now, he's currently valued up to £69 million. Media description is a winger. He can play out on both the wides areas. He's more of a natural. He's a natural out on that right-hand side. Acceleration and pace both 17. Dribbling 16. Crossing 10. He's going to improve. His current ability is 3-star. And I bought him for 19.25 million from RB Leipzig this time, after they spent 12.75 million on him last season. 26 games he played, 9 goals, 3 assists, 4 player of the match performances. And whilst his attributes overall don't look fantastic, he's 23-year-old and I needed to add a bit of youth to the team. Then I started spending big money and I spent £71 million on Pau Torres. Now this guy's a worldwide elite centre-back. Heading, marking, tackling all 16, strength 16, jumping 17, movement, his positioning 16 as well. You know, all those highlighted areas, absolutely fantastic. We brought him in for £71 million though, so I spent massive money on him from Villarreal. He played 32 times last season, 1 goal, 1 player of the match performance, a 7.06 rating. But this guy, quality centre-back option, a guaranteed starter. And then another guaranteed starter is a world-class midfielder, Nicolo Barella. Currently 27-year-old, 43 caps, 6 goals for Italy, and valued up to £177 million. Now his current ability is 4.5 star and he's playing to that. Just look at the state of these attributes. Mentally, physically and technically incredible, let's be honest. As I've said a million times before, I don't know what it is with central midfielders, but aerially they're terrible. Jump and reach 8, head and 8. Midfielders just don't like to head the ball, apparently. It's all down to the defenders and the attackers. Just misses out the midfield. But we bought him for £76 million from Inter Milan. Well, they spent £33 million on him, but he played 36 times, 7 goals, 8 assists and 3 player of the match performances last season. You know, he's a very good addition to the squad. So how's that affected the finances then? It's absolutely crippled them. So transfer budget now, I've just got over £500,000 left in the bank. Wage budget, I'm currently spending over that. I've got a 2.6 million wage budget, I'm spending nearly £3 million. Debt and loans, not a lot going on, apart from the fact I've got £10 million transfer debt. Not worried about that at the minute. So what about the tactic then? I am still going to stick with the 4-3-3. It's done us proud so far. My starting 11 will look a little bit like this, with Pickford in goal, Digne, Torres, Verissimo and Pereira at the back, with Ward-Prowse at the bottom of my midfield, with Barella and Tielemans taking charge, Richarlison and Adeyemi out wide, and Calvert-Lewin up front. What a team that is. We're still on the Gegenpress and we're playing a positive mentality. Competitions wise this season, I've got the Premier League, the Champions League, the Super Cup, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. More silverware please this season. And then when we look at the season preview, I'm now expecting a 4th place finish. So we are starting to get ourselves fully established in those top 4 teams. With us being 7-1 favourites to win the league. Liverpool favourites are 2-1. Teams promoted last season, West Ham, Sheffield United and Middlesbrough favourites to go down. But we've still got no players in the Media Dream 11, which does surprise us, considering the money that I've just spent. And then finally looking at our first 5 league games this season. So we start with the game against Palace, then Liverpool at home. So the Merseyside derby coming up 2 games in. Manchester City, Arsenal and then West Ham making my first 5 games. So here we go then, guys. It's all about the league now. Obviously, I'd love to win that Champions League again. I think that was a one-off. But it's now about pushing into the top 2 within the Premier League. So what we're going to do then is we're going to move forward through Season 4. Well, hopefully there's more silverware to be added to the cabinet. And we're also challenging Liverpool to the title. Right, so here we go then, guys. We have won the league. We've bloody won the league. 38 games played, 83 points on the board. We've done it all now. What is it, just the FA Cup? Is that the only domestic trophy that we now need? As we win the league, Liverpool in second. We've pipped them to it. 5 points clear at the top. 38 games played, 25 wins, 8 draws, 5 losses, 85 goal scores. That looks like it's the highest in the league, with 33 conceded. Not bad as well. That's less than a goal a game. Plus 52 goal difference again, looks like it's the best in the league. And our form, we won our last 5 games. Incredible this rebuild has been absolutely insane. When we look at the past positions then, we were up and down all over the place. We sat in second place for the majority of the season, but at one point, after a 1-1 draw with Arsenal, we fell all the way down into 5th place. Before the end of the season, a 1-0 victory over Brentford, 1-0 against Leicester City, and then 3-0 against Sheffield United, puts us top. Liverpool, I'm assuming they were within the top 2 all season, and they fell off. You know, you want to beat your rivals anyway, so Liverpool finished in second place there. What I would say is I can see straight away, I don't know what's happened at West Ham, but they've had an absolute shocker finishing in bottom spot. I may actually look at trying to rob a couple of their players if they've got any good ones left. Competitions-wise, though, we did not win the Champions League. I can see straight away we were knocked out in the semi-final by Atletico Madrid. And we lost 3-0. We lost 3-0 when we must have been 2-0 up on aggregate. And there you go, we were beaten 3-0 at home to lose 3-2. What a collapse. They had 23 shots, 11 on target. We had 8 in 3. Mason Holgate had an absolute shocker with a 5.8 rating. And we were blown away in the first half an hour as well. Juan Hernandez on 4. Timo Werner's there on 23 minutes. And then Thierry Randall Carrera on 28 minutes. Put us to sleep, honestly. But we did win the UEFA Super Cup, a 2-1 victory there over Manchester United. Calvert-Lewin with a goal on 33 and Richarlison on 56. We were knocked out in the semi-final of the FA Cup by Southampton, but we did win the Carabao Cup. Who did we win against? 4-3 against Southampton. Wowzers. 2-2 at half-time. Shea Evans with a goal on 23, Livramento on 30, and Darwin Núñez with a goal on 86. That's the 3 for Southampton. Calvert-Lewin with 2 on 34 and 74, Adeyemi on 36, and Barella with a goal on 63. You know, we had 21 shots, 10 on target, 50% possession though, but it's another bit of silverware for the trophy cabinet. We've also got the FIFA Club World Cup coming up. In 14 days, actually, we're yet to enter. But there's another opportunity. We could be the best club in the world at the end of this, which would not surprise me with the way this rebuild's going. So looking at finances, then we go again. Overall balance, £460 million. We've got £179 million to spend in a transfer budget. 100% of transfer revenue is being made available. That's the biggie. Because whatever I make from player sales now, I am getting it all back. Wage budget-wise, we've now got £3.8 million to spend. That's 800k more than I'm currently spending. Squad dynamics wise then, you know, excellent across the board. Team cohesion, club atmosphere, managerial support, all through the roof. Plenty of players that want to leave in better contracts. That is expected with the way that we are performing. I've got 3 players that have no real opinion of us, but 18 player supporters and no players opposers. So Davis is on side. Where is he at there? There he is. He supports me fully, which is great considering he opposed me at the start of the season. Then looking at the player stats, Calvert-Lewin scored 33 goals this season. How many in the league though? 20. We'll have a look at how he performed in comparison to everybody else, but I would imagine he's nowhere near. So Erling Haaland scored 34 goals. Calvert-Lewin finished in 3rd spot. Again, I think that's where he was last season, but Erling Haaland, no surprise, 34 goals there. But Calvert-Lewin did get the highest average rating for us. Most assists, Richarlison, Adeyemi and Ward-Prowse with 14 apiece. Best pass completion was Yerry Mina with 98%. Most player of the match awards was Calvert-Lewin with 8. Most yellow cards was Ward-Prowse, which surprises me, with 17. And most red cards, Davis, Digne, Verasimo and Pau Torres with 1 apiece. What about the team stats then? So team stats wise, we scored 85 goals, which is the best. We conceded 33, which is the second best, but I'm really happy with those goals conceded. Yellow cards wise, 82, which is the 5th worst. And 2 red cards, which is the 9th worst. Average attendance, nearly 53,000, which is the 7th best. So that is it. We are league champions. Scenes as we'd like to say, we've basically won everything now. Just the FA Cup. And we're now in that Club World Cup Championship as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to move forward now to the start of Season 5. I've got plenty of money to spend in this transfer window. And I'm going to try and spend it all again. Right, so Season 5 then, guys, our last season. And we've done 2 things in this transfer window. First of all, we've broke the record for the highest transfer fee received. And we've also broke the British record for the highest transfer fee paid. So, yeah, a big transfer window. That should be unsurprising considering the position that we find ourselves in now. There's a real opportunity this season to win every competition across the board. And while we're talking about competitions, I just want to let you know that we actually won the FIFA Club World Cup. So we're now officially the best club in the world. A 3-1 victory over Real Madrid. Yuri Tillemans with a goal on now before Mbappe got a goal from Real Madrid. So that's where he's ended up in this save on 24 minutes. Sesko with a goal on 61 and Barella on 73. And when we look at our journey, we ended up beating the likes of Bayern Munich 2-0 and Liverpool 2-0 in extra time to get there. So for me, you know, we're in such a fantastic position. Yeah, when you look at some of those results there in the pre-season, we have run away with it, but we weren't exactly taking on the best teams in the world, let's be honest. PSG, a 2-2 draw there, but otherwise a decent pre-season. But finances-wise, I've still got £24 million in the overall balance. A wage budget of 3.8 million. I'm currently spending 3.6. That overall balance, so even with the spending this season, we've still got £253 million left in the bank. So players leave, and then the first player to go was Mason Holgate. He did not want to stay with us. I had the opportunity to offer him a new contract, which he rejected, and he left on a free transfer. He's now gone to Lyon. He played 20 times his last season. He'll have been playing at right back, I would imagine. We've got so many options at centre back. I can't have seen him getting there. Decent player, Holgate, still 28-year-old, about to go into his prime, but we let him go on a free just because he didn't want to stay with us any longer. Then João Virginia, he left and he went to Vitgamares in Portugal. Now, he left on a free transfer. He's played 2 times since I promoted him from the reserves. Didn't play a game last season. Was there as my substitute goalkeeper. He's decent. He's obviously not Premier League quality, but as a number 2, he could have done stuff when Pickford was injured or away with nationally or whatever. But yeah, he's gone on a free transfer as well. Yerry Mina, lefty's gone to Atalanta for £15 million. He's now 30-year-old. He only played 3 games last season, 9 the season before, so 12 games in the last 2 seasons. He was a fringe player at best, and we've let him go as well. Another player to leave, I think, was my first sign, and Adnan Januzaj. He has gone off to Villarreal for £14 million after we paid £11.75 million for him. So he only played 5 times last season for us again, was on the fringes, and now at 30-year-old, yes, a decent player again. He could still do bits for us, but to get money for him when he would have left on a free transfer at the end of the season anyway, we done well to get the money. And then a player we brought in on a free transfer when Leicester were relegated, Ricardo Pereira, 31-year-old, very well all-rounded player, and we've let him go to Lazio for nearly £17 million after we paid £11.75. Last season he played 33 times, so he was more or less ever present in the Premier League. The money's come in, it was too good to turn down. And the last player out the door then, Karim Adeyemi, now a player that I brought in the second season, I think, has gone off to PSG, and we received £150 million for him. No add-ons in there, that was all cash up front. Ridiculous. £150 million from PSG. He did a decent job for us. We can just see it when we look back. He scored 12 times in 34 appearances last season. 11 assists. But this guy, that money, £150 million, especially when we're getting 100% of the transfer revenue, you just can't say no to it. So coming in then, the first player through the door is Rafinha. Now, you should know this guy. He's played for Leeds. Absolutely incredible player. Can play out on that left and right-hand side. Worldwide elite media description. Currently valued £37 million and playing to his full potential. And we got him from PSG for £31.5 million. He only played 5 times in League One last season. And Leeds give him away, in my opinion, to PSG. £45.5 million. I reckon he was easily an £80-90 million player before he left. But we've brought him in. Acceleration 16, pace 15. Dribbling first touch 16, that's flair 17 as well. Very good player. May not be the first name on the team sheet as I have brought in a couple of better options, but a very good squad depth option. And when I can turn around and say a player this good like Rafinha is a squad depth option, it tells you what kind of transfer window we've had. So going out in that left back area then, I've brought in Sergio Gomez, a 24-year-old Spaniard. He's got 12 caps at under 21. Cultured fullback is his media description, and he's currently valued at up to £95 million. Now, I brought him in for £43 million from Hertha Berlin, where he played 24 times in the Bundesliga last season. A very good player, and he's going to be the natural successor to Luca Digne, obviously, when he gets past his prime and he starts to drop into being a fringe player. And then strengthening out on the right-hand side with Pereira leaving, I brought in Pierre Kalaloulou. What a player this guy is. £18.25 million from Galatasaray. Again, Milan give him away. This guy could easily be a £25 million player, and he went to Galatasaray for £6 million. He played 31 times in the Turkish top tier last season, and we've brought him in. £18.25 million. Can play across the back 4, but he's predominantly there to play on the right-hand side. Very good player. Mentally and physically decent. He's got a bit of technicals to work on. Don't ask him to take a corner or a free kick. But overall, a very good addition to that right-hand side. Then we continue to spend big by bringing in Sandro Tonali, world-class midfielder with 24 caps for Italy. Like I say, 25-year-old, and he's currently valued at £135 million. Now, looking at his attributes, look at that. More or less completely all-rounded, with decent jump and reach and head, and that head and still turn, I don't know what it is, like I said before, throughout this, what's going on with the midfielders not being able to head the ball. But he's not bad at doing it. With first touch, technique, vision, anticipation, and balance, and agility, all 16. We brought him in from Milan for £75 million. And I think that's a good deal. Then I brought in Soyuncu. Now, this guy I looked at a couple of years ago when Leicester were relegated, when we brought in Tielemans and Pereira. But yeah, Soyuncu, now 29-year-old, £19.5 million from Leicester. He played 33 times in the Premier League last season. Not too much to say about him. He's a solid squad depth option in the central mid defence. And then obviously I needed a backup goalkeeper. I've brought in Jan Sommer, 85 caps for Switzerland, now 36-year-old. Very, very good attributes-wise, especially those goalkeeping attributes. He's got lots of international pedigree, and I brought him in for 450k. He played 34 times in the Bundesliga last season, conceded 49. But again, we'll see some game time from this season, but he's got to try and dislodge Pickford first. And then finally, the big money transfer. Jamal Musiala joins us from Bayern Munich for £105 million, 115 with add-ons. Now, he played 30 times last season, 17 goals, 10 assists. And in my opinion, this guy's better than Adeyemi. 50 caps for Germany already with 18 goals at 22. Elite attacker midfielder who can play in all three positions behind the striker. Realistically for us, left and right. Current ability 4.5 star, potential ability 5 star. This guy's now the best player at the club. He is going to play out on that right hand side, as I've obviously got Richarlison who can play out on the left, but we are absolutely stacked with attacking talent now. So tactically then, this is going to be my starting 11, and what a team it is, with Jordan Pickford in goal, Gomez, Torres, Verasimo and Kalulu at the back, with Tonali at the base of my midfield, with Barella and Ward-Prowse the two players in front, Richarlison and Musiala out wide, with Calvert-Lewin up front. We have got to be winning everything. Looking at the competitions wise then, we're in the Premier League, we're in the Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and we've got the Community Shield against Southampton. I would be disappointed if we haven't won at least 3 competitions here. If I don't see 3 trophies at the end of the season, we have blown it. What about in the Premier League then? What is the season preview? We're expected a second place finish now, 9-2 to win the league. But we've still got no players in the Media Dream 11. That is mental considering the money we spent and the quality of player that we've brought in. Is that João Felix? Has he gone to Chelsea? He has. How much did he cost them? £114 million. Actually, he's been there 3 seasons. This is his 3rd going now. But Kane and Haaland are 2 up front. But I can't believe we haven't got any players in that Media Dream 11. However, what a climb in the media prediction, eh? 9-2 to win the league now, just behind Liverpool. Manchester City and Manchester United making up the top 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to move forward to the end of the season, where hopefully we've had a clean sweep of titles. Right guys, this is it then. The season is over. The rebuild is done. And as you can see, we have won the league again. Back-to-back league wins. 84 points on the board. We actually lost one of our last 5 games. Liverpool drew in the last game of the season as well. But we played 38, won 25, 9 draws, 4 defeats, 89 goals scored, which looks like it's the highest there. Liverpool scored 79. I think that's the 2nd highest. We conceded 36. Liverpool conceding 26. So 53 goals scored, 84 points on the board. I would imagine, looking at this, surely, that we've just been top the majority of the season. Actually, we haven't. We ended up dropping down into 2nd place. We were beaten 3-1 by Brentford. A 2-2 draw then with Liverpool, which isn't a bad result. But then we won Brighton and Hove Albion 5-2 and just continued to be in top spot. Liverpool then, what about, I would imagine there's plenty of change. Looks like there's been plenty of change between these top 4 teams. Arsenal in 5th. They dropped off as well. A bit messy that, but as you can see, there's been a lot of change between the top 4-5 teams. Competitions-wise then, we can see straight away that we've won the Champions League 2-0 against Arsenal in the final. Verasimo with a goal on 38. And then Doyle on 73. We had 14 shots, 6 on target. He had 13 and 4 in fairness. Jan Sommer, he obviously ended up becoming the number 1. He played 63 times this season. So yeah, Jordan Pickford losing his number 1 spot. We finished runner-up in the FA Cup. We won the Carabao Cup. What happened in the Carabao Cup? A 1-1 penalty victory against Liverpool. Let's just have a look at the FA Cup, because we haven't won the FA Cup in the 5 years. We were beaten 2-0 by Tottenham. They had 9 shots, 3 on target. We were actually the better team in this one as well. Sionka with no goal on 12 minutes and Harry Kane stepping up on 36. Makes it 2-0. But then we won the Community Shield as well. A 4-1 victory over Southampton there. So what is that? 1, 2... 3-4. We had the opportunity in 5 competitions and we've won 4 of them. So fantastic work. Finances wise then, we don't need to worry about the finance anymore. Overall balance is £145 million. I'm sure that'll rise towards the start of the season. Transfer budget for this coming season now is £258 million, with 100% of transfer revenue being made available. £4.8 million wage budget, and we're currently spending 3.6, so we're £1.2 million under that as well. What about squad dynamics wise then? Team cohesion, club atmosphere and manager support, all excellent. Players that want to leave, not worried about that. Top influencers wise, and I've got 22 players and supporters. 1 player has no real opinion, and that's Sergio Gomez. And what about goal scorers overall? And so who was top goal scorer this season? Calvert-Lewin with 31. Sesko got 28 goals in 26 starts. Richarlison with 21. Ndoye had a cracker of a season. 20 goals and 20 assists. Wowza. James Ward-Prowse, 21. Tielemans even got 10 assists. But Musiala, his first season with us, 14 goals and 8 assists. So a decent performance, especially from those front men. So player stats wise then, Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored 31 goals. Highest average rating was Ndoye with a 7.37. Most assists was Ward-Prowse with 21. Best pass completion was Verasimo with 99%. Most player of the match awards was Dominic Calvert-Lewin with 10. Most yellow cards, Digne with 15. And most red cards was Ward-Prowse with 2. I didn't realise he was such a dirty player. But then looking at the team stats wise then, so we scored 89 goals, which is the best. 36 goals conceded, which is the 4th best. 61 yellow cards, which is the 6th best, and 4 red cards, which is the 3rd worst. And we got a 56,000 attendance, which is now the 5th best in the league. So what about my history then? So overview wise then, I brought in 20 players. That's it, 20 players over the course of the 5 years. But I spent a total of £641 million on them. Players sold 42 with a transfer value of 351. Highest fee spent was 115 million for Jamal Musiala. Obviously, everything happened in this last season. And then we sold Karim Adeyemi for £150 million. And milestones wise, and this has got to be the most successful, or bonkers, whichever way you look at it, yeah, definitely bonkers, rebuild that I've ever done. So I was hired as the Everton manager in 2021. We won the Carabao Cup within my first season. Within the second season, we won the Europa League and then won the Super Cup in the summer. In 2024, we won the Super Cup again and the Champions League. In the 2025 season, obviously this is where the money started to pile in. We won the FA Community Shield, the FIFA Club World Cup, the Premier League and the Carabao Cup. And I was entered into the Hall of Fame for English managers. And then in my last season, I've won the Carabao Cup, the Premier League and the Champions League. What about that? You know, I was only joking at the start when I said we were going to win the Champions League. It was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek comment, but this team that we have assembled, don't get me wrong, the takeover, which is not guaranteed in any of your saves that you do, the takeover certainly helped out, obviously, our push, because you can see there in those final 2 seasons, although we're already Champions League winners, and that may have been what's got us the takeover in the first place, you know, the fact that we're really pushing on in Europe, but whatever, who cares? You know, we have won almost everything you could win. If we'd won the FA Cup this season, it would have been a clean sweep across all competitions. So there you go then, guys. Thank you for watching. If you've watched this far, you know, leave a thumbs up and subscribe would mean a lot. Thank you very much for watching. I will also be asking who the next team that you want rebuilding is on the community tab on my YouTube page, so please vote there as well. But thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.